something that everyone seems to take for granted are team sports. But very few people know that prior to 1492, there's no documentation of team sports in Europe. Maybe the only thing that's really documented is polo, but that was out in the steppes in the Middle East regions of Asia. When the first immigrant people, European people, came to the shores of North America, they witnessed for the first time massive team sports for the very first time. And they're well documented too, well depicted. Painters marveled at these elaborate games that sometimes waged hundreds of people against each other. And one of the most famous proponents of this are the Haudenosaunee, or the Iroquois people. The French called the game that they play lacrosse. And so lacrosse is well known. But the Haudenosaunee call it the creator's game, the game that belongs to the Great Spirit. And so it is all throughout these regions of North America, from the east to the west. They played these kind of team sports. They're always in association with formal devotional practices. For instance, in the southeast regions of the U.S., they play what they call stickball, which is very similar to lacrosse, but it's always done in association with the largest communal devotional practices, such as the green corn dance, all the way down amongst the Seminole, the Choctaw, the Creek people. They do that. Out in the prairies, they play a very similar game. It's with a stick that's curved on one end, and I guess you could call it field hockey. But there again, it's always done in association with a devotional practice. And in that sense, the ball represents the blessings of God, the blessings of the Great Spirit, and it's symbolized by the ball. And then the two teams represent the oppositional forces that are a part of this creation. And the interplay between them is that dialogue or that dialectic. And we see that played out in every aspect of the physical world, maybe day and night, heat and cold, winter, spring, ice, and flowing waters. All of these oppositional forces that we can see, and it's symbolized, represented by the two teams, the offensive team, the team that has the ball and is able to score, and the defensive side, whose goal is to obtain that. And so they play this out, and it's a spiritual drama, a theophany that is very, very important. It's very foundational throughout the period that humanity has resided here on this side of the world. These team sports, it's always part of a great prayer. And so then when the European people first saw this, they didn't understand the underlying context of it, and they began to use it. In time, it became also maybe a form of worship that we see today, as we see like billions of people worshiping their teams. Their teams, like the players, are almost deified, and they're among the wealthiest members of society. But in the original context of the spiritual context of the game, it represents this spiritual drama that's played out. For the Lakota people, it's thought that there are 7 main devotional practices. And one of them is called Kapa Wankayayapi. It's a sacred ball game. So it's one of the prayers. And it's usually a child, a young girl, who has possession of the ball. And when she throws that out to the 4 directions, then everybody has to vie with each other to obtain that, because it symbolizes all the blessings, all the divine bounties, everything good, everything holy, everything beautiful is symbolized by that ball. So it represents the good graces of the one above, the Creator, the Great Spirit. Oicha te ola.